another edition of AttractWell Office Hours. I'm Coach Ashley, joined today by founder of AttractWell, Greg Kilwine. Hey, Greg.
Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody.
We're thrilled to have you here today. We're going to be talking about automations. It's a feature in your AttractWell system that can help you do all kinds of great things on autopilot. So we're going to be getting into what that is today, how the feature works, different ways you can use it in your system, best practices for using it, and more. If you are here today looking to automate something in particular in your business, be it part of your workflow, your pipeline, or just simply a client or new lead experience, then by all means, go ahead and get into the Q&A and let us know what you're wanting to work on, and we can help you devise a plan to use this feature to its maximum capacity to support your business. This is, by the way, a free call that's offered by AttractWell to anyone who is a coach, consultant, creator, facilitator. If you are a service provider, if you're a network marketer, really, if you serve people in your business, we have a way to use our platform to bring everything under one roof for your business. You probably didn't get into what you do to learn how to operate and stitch together 17 types of software to run your business. And we give you the ease of mind of knowing that you've just got it all in one place and you got good people here to help you. So we're thrilled that you're here today, and we are excited to work with you on getting this done. So we're going to go ahead and hop out of video and into these slides that I've put together for you here today. And then, of course, at the close of those, we can get into some show and tell on the AttractWell platform and any questions that you guys have. So let's go ahead and do that. And by the way, if you're here, if you'd like to come over into the chat, let us know about what you do. Who do you help? What do you do? And where in the world are you? I'm normally in New York City. Today, I am in central PA at my grandma's house. Where are you guys? All right, let me get into my chat here, or into my my slides, and let's get into this. Again, really thrilled to have you guys here today, and looking forward to our conversation and, of course, helping you guys get this stuff figured out for your business. So without further ado, let's see if this will let me play. Okay, perfect. So today we're getting into a feature spotlight. So this is a feature of the AttractWell system. We're going to talk about automations today. And how to use them and best practices in using them. So we're going to get into automations, what they are, when to use them, best practices in using them, and then how to create and use them in AttractWell. And of course, if you are here today and you need help with anything, maybe you are using AttractWell and you're trying to figure out how to make it do a thing you want it to do, there is a really, really, really high chance that there is a way to get that done. And it may just mean learning or knowing whatever it is in our system that can help you execute it. These calls are your shortcut. Add any questions you have to the Q&A, and we can help you devise a path forward without you having to figure it out on your own. So head over to the Q&A and add any questions you have there to that, so we don't lose them in the chat here, and we can work with you today on the call. And if you'd like to set aside some time to maybe work at length together on a call like this one, you can go to attractwell.com/work review, and we can really dive in together on exactly what you want to learn, how to get figured out and make work in your system. There's really no limit here to what we can look at if it touches the AttractWell system, whether that be strategically, technically, how we get these things implemented. We're here to help you get it done. So you can set up a dedicated time for us to work together on a future call by going to this link. And of course, if you watch this as a recording in the future on our YouTube channel, you can go to attractwell.com/office hours to be on this list where you get access to all of our calls. You can get access to this link to join us on this live Zoom so that we can all be together and work together on these Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern time slots. All right, so question for you guys, put this in the chat for me. What functions of your business would you like to have automated? It's not a trick question. If you could have something happen on its own, what are some of the things that you would like to have happening on autopilot in your business? Lynn says client follow-up. Yes. Scheduling and booking. Ooh, yes, that's definitely one that'll save you a ton of time. Keep them coming, you guys, as they're going in there. Start getting some ideas, thinking about how you want that done. Is it happening in some way in your business? Do you wanting to change it from a way that it worked maybe somewhere else where you were using 3 different kinds of software and so on? Staying in touch with your list. Yes, there's definitely some ways to do that on autopilot as well. Love it. All right, so automations in AttractWell, they do a lot of things. So let's talk about what they do. First, automations are going to trigger one or multiple specific actions on a contact. So at the core, the beating heart of your AttractWell system is a contact manager, or CRM, right? Customer relationship manager, client relationship manager, right? The core of what we have is a contact manager. So you aren't just building a list. You're building, of course, a list of contacts with rich information attached to them. And then, of course, there's lots of actions that can be applied to them as well in your system, because you aren't serving them on a separate platform or communicating with them from a separate platform or keeping notes in a separate platform. We're all in one place with how you serve your clients, no matter how you do, right? So automations are going to be able to do a lot for you in our system because we have a fully unified system. Now, these can be, and this shouldn't say imitated, can be initiated by a contact, meaning they take an action, thus a thing happens, can be initiated by you or by your system, right? It can be manual, or of course the system can apply these things manually. Automations help you to customize your user experience on your list, also the user experience in your member area and on your website at large. They help you to stay better organized. So on top of your pipeline, for instance, if you're wanting to automatically reach out at a certain stage, like Alicia's talking about here, and get reviews and testimonials, request those things, right? Those are things that you can actually integrate with automations. Now, automations, like to be very specific, they can add or remove certain things in AttractWell from your contacts, right? Certain actions or designations. So things like tags, campaigns, follow-up plans, access to vaults, RSVPs for events. They can also add or remove other automations. They can opt them in or out of email or text, and even change their contact rating. So there's tons of things that you can do with these. Now let's talk about when we can use these and what that looks like. So when you want to use an automation, the best time to use it is basically anytime you need for more than one thing to happen with a contact. So let's just say, for instance, you have, and we'll just use the simplest the simplest sort of way to go about this here. And it's one that I would recommend that everybody give a shot as their first automation. If you have a lead form on your website, anywhere, where you are capturing leads of people who are interested in some kind of thing that you offer that's free, right? If you have an automation apply a follow-up plan to that contact, they're not only going to get whatever emails were supposed to go out because you built your funnel correctly, because if you build your funnel correctly, they're going to at least get a confirmation email, right? So that automatic follow-up, I mean, there is an automation happening there, and that's the campaign sends when they put their name and email into a form, right? But what if you want to make sure that everybody who actually goes to your website, and obviously this isn't something that's truly scalable, but most of us don't get hundreds of opt-ins a day, right? So maybe you want to make sure that you individually follow up with and reach out to or confirm that they're receiving emails or whatever of every person who opts in for a free thing on your website. That's going to mean you want to have a follow-up plan and have an automation apply that follow-up plan when someone registers on that landing page, or when someone gets your new lead campaign. You want to be able to get a notification from your AttractWell system that says, hey, you need to go in and check and make sure that this person is getting your emails, right? Something like that. Okay. So that would be what I'm talking about here. So a new lead campaign might also add a follow-up to someone to where you get reminded to follow up with them. Maybe if they, maybe if this is attached to an event, maybe they're registering for a live event, they're going to get a new lead campaign. You're going to get a reminder because you've got a follow-up plan attached, and now they're RSVP'd for an event in your AttractWell system, right? So if we need more than one thing to happen. Another way that we might want to look at this is when you want a contact to opt into something without filling out a form a second time. So an example for this might be, maybe you have, again, a lead magnet, you're offering a free thing on your website. And then for the leads who are really hot, who really like what you have to say, you want to offer them right away an opportunity to get into like a webinar style video presentation where you can actually make a sale, right? So on the second page and in the client funnel challenge course that we have, we call this the authority page. So they opt in on a landing page, they put their name and email in. On the next page, they go to an authority page. Now on that authority page, you could, give them an opportunity to book with you, which is what I teach in the client funnel challenge. But you also have the opportunity on that authority page to say, hey, by the way, if you're into, learning how to do X, Y, and Z thing, I've actually got a full blueprint for you. Would you like to register for this class? Right. And then if you don't want them to put in their name and email a second time, you can just say, click the button, right? Because they just opted in on a previous page, right? Now they click a button and now they're on the new campaign, right? Now they have a new tag added to them. Now they receive that replay, all of that kind of stuff, right? Another way to use automations, highly recommended way to use automations, is when someone moves from one stage of your pipeline to another. I really recommend, if you haven't done this already, we do have training on this on our YouTube channel, but I recommend that you check out our follow-up plans, and to create a follow-up plan for each stage of your business pipeline and for your client pipelines as well, the journey of how your clients work with you, so that you can have those designations, those follow-up plans, those checklists, and stay on top of what you need to do for your people. And if you're using automations, there are different stages in how your client interacts with you and how you interact with them that can allow you to just go ahead and pop an automation onto your contact. And now you have your entirely new to-do list. They've got a new tag, everything's all clean and it's current. And it's just a really great way to streamline multiple steps into one. So in this case, maybe if you have an appointment set with the new lead, when they opt in to get on a call with you, maybe they are also going to get an automation applied to them that removes their old tag, right? So if somebody was originally tagged with new lead in your system and they're receiving your lead nurture campaign, the initial one, but when someone moves to that next stage and they've actually decided that they're going to get on a call with you, they're a hotter lead, right? Temperature of that lead changed because they want to speak to you. So your automation could actually give them a new rating as a contact, maybe a different follow-up plan, maybe remove the old tag and add a new one. And potentially, depending on how you set this up, you would, of course, send them a new campaign as well, perhaps one with a link to get on your calendar. So automations can be triggered from just about anywhere in your AttractWell system. But it is important that you consider how they're applied so that you know how to do it the right way, especially if you're wanting to have a contact perform an action that applies the campaign, which we'll get into here in a second. So if you're sending out emails or texts, so that's broadcasts, one-to-one, one-to-many, or to campaigns, or sending campaigns out, these would be drip campaigns, either on send, individual campaign messages as well. Automations can be attached to all of these, right? So you can send out an automation via a broadcast and a link. You can attach automations to campaign messages so that after somebody has received, for instance, the final message in a campaign, they may there may be an automation applied there that can apply an entirely new campaign to them so that they're still getting a drip of messages, right? And then, of course, you can link those automations on click in the campaign messages as well. That link also, you can have automations click as a link from email or text, but you can also put these on pages as well as in vaults. You can also, after a campaign is complete, like I just mentioned, when someone RSVPs for an event, or if they put their name and info in on a landing page or a custom page form, automations can be applied here as well. After an online class inside of a vault or a lesson inside of an online class is complete, an automation can trigger there. When someone comments on your blog posts, automations can be triggered. When someone's added to a vault, whether that's free or paid, automations can apply here as well. So let's get into best practices for these. And then we're going to actually go play around with these and we'll show you how to make them. The best way to get started with automations is to keep it really simple and logical, like something that does a thing that you already need or that you're already doing in your business, right? So there are a million ways we can do this. Start with what you need, and it's going to make it easier for you to learn how to use it so that it becomes a lot more intuitive for you to continue using it moving forward. Really great place, like I mentioned before, to start with this is to have follow-up plans for the different stages of your pipeline, and follow-up plans for different stages of client progress. And of course, figure out when someone might need to be on one of those follow-up plans, right? So you have a certain set of to-dos for your people in your pipelines at various stages. So make sure that you have an automation that applies a follow-up plan, right? And just as an example, to get it started, when you have a new lead, what are the things you want to do first? Do you want to look them up on social and see if you have mutual friends? Do you want to look them up on LinkedIn and see if you're connected, right? Take their email address and type it in, find it, Google them, right? Look them up. Do you want to, give yourself a quick to-do to look them up on social and take some notes so that you can perform some outreach effectively, right? Kind of learn a little bit about where they might have found you potentially. Do you want to be reminded to maybe send them a personal email and ask them a specific question beyond maybe what your campaign might be sending, right? So create a follow-up plan that reminds you to do those things, and then attach that follow-up plan via an automation to a landing page that you use when a new lead, will be actually becoming your lead, right? Somebody goes to your website, they fill out a form for a free thing. That's where you're going to attach that automation. And now you get to be reminded of what to do next with this person while your system is also doing the follow-up on your behalf per however you have set up your funnel. So if you're using automations to send out new campaigns, because this is a really great way to use them, right? Like you can have maybe a new set of emails go out to people after a certain period of time passes, maybe after a campaign ends, they get a new one. Just be mindful if you're going to use automations to send campaigns, be mindful of how many emails they may already be getting from you, right? Just make sure that you've got it sort of sequenced appropriately so that perhaps the automation triggers after the last email of a previous campaign so that they aren't getting, 5 messages a day from you. We don't want them to have that experience, right? Now, if the contact needs to click a link for an automation to trigger, always give some kind of context and a call to action, and then send the visitor to a relevant page after click. So let's just say, going back to the example I gave previously, they've just opted in to get your free checklist or something like that on your website. They land on the next page where it says, hey, if you love, ways to stay organized, I've got a free masterclass on how you can organize your whole house in a weekend, right? And all you have to do is click here and you'll be registered. Right? That click here, that's going to be a link to an automation. Now, it's just really important that if you're going to do that, it needs to be on the other side of a place that they've opted in, or on the other side of an email that they've clicked a link in, right? But we need to send them to a page that says, hey, you're registered after they click. That's an important thing. And of course, we want to give them that context, which in this case, we would have already. Click here and you'll be registered, i.e. you're going to get all the information you need to watch this video. So just make sure that if you are telling them to click and an automation is applied when they click, that they know what to do, and let them know that they actually did it correctly by sending them to a confirmation page of some kind or wherever you said you're going to send them. All right. Keeping this going, if the automation is on a page, make sure that the page is either inside of a vault or it's linked from an email sent to them via a campaign or broadcast, or it's on the other side of an opt-in page in a funnel, because your system needs to recognize that visitor for automations to work, right? If you just have automation links, like say on the homepage of your website, chances are they're not going to do what you want them to do, right? Automations are things that are performed on contacts in your system. So once someone becomes a contact, then we can automatically have lots of things happen to them in terms of what emails go out, how we categorize them in our system, all that kind of good stuff. But if the system doesn't know them, nothing's going to happen, right? So make sure that if you are going to be putting links anywhere to automations, that they're in email, inside of a vault where someone's obviously logged in, right? They're a contact in your system and they've logged in. Or of course, they've just opted in on a landing page and they're going to a subsequent page right after opt-in. So they need to have been opted in or been added to your system for this to work. Blog posts, public website pages are not the place you want to put automation links. Remember, and this is important as well, especially where we're talking about having automations with follow-up plans for different parts of our business pipeline. You can apply these things manually. Like you can, like from someone's contact card, go in and apply an automation to that person. So if you just want to apply maybe for stage 2 of your lead pipeline, you apply an automation that gives them the new tag, removes the old one, gives them the new campaign, removes the old one, gives the new follow-up plan, removes the old one. You can just do that and it's done, instead of you having to go in and remove tag and add tag and do all of that stuff. You're performing like 6 steps at once and all you're doing is just adding an automation to a contact, right? And finally, this is where we can get kind of crazy. You can use automations to trigger other automations as well. So the possibilities get kind of infinite here, which is pretty cool. So let's get into how we can make these and any questions that you guys have for how we can get those done. Before I get into this, let me actually make sure that I am in the right account, and then I can actually demo some of this once that is ready. Okay, so I'm in there now, I think. Okay. Great. All right, so let's get into some of this Q&A. And do please make sure, so I don't miss any of this in the chat. If you have questions, can you please make sure you got them in the Q&A? Let's see, J&A Associates in Logistics, I'm not 100% reviewing your class. If you'd like for us to take a look at it, please let me know, and like happy to look over any of your work with you today. Lynn says, I need to create a link tree type thing. Do you have a template for AttractWell? Yes. If you look up link in bio on our YouTube channel, you will find that there is a training there along with the template. All right, so we want to follow up. We want to eliminate cold calling. Oh, interesting. Eliminating cold calling. If they're on your list, then you can have campaign messages go out to them. And of course, it's not something that you would necessarily have to use automations for. You could just use a campaign to do it, but you can keep your list clean, right? So if somebody has received the 3rd email, for instance, not everybody will, because maybe some people will opt out or something like that. Maybe an automation triggers on the 3rd email where maybe they get sent a 1 message thing, or you get reminded to do a thing. Like there are lots of ways that you can do this. You first need to know what you need for your business, right? And then you can make this little robot do all kinds of stuff, right? So if you're clear on how you want it to happen, there's a way to make it happen here for sure. So if you have an idea of what that is, if you know what that is, then feel free, like we can actually like just chat through any of that together and help you come up with a system that'll work. Christine says, can I automate individual messages, email, text, etc., into a class? So when they get to module 3, for instance, this email will trigger to send out, not necessarily a whole campaign. So this is a really good question. And I think, let's go ahead and I want to get into like screen sharing and actually showing at this point really quickly. And Christine, I want to actually take what you've asked here and do something with that. But first, let me show you guys where to find automations in your system. They are attached to other stuff, by the way. So for instance, if you want your automation to apply a campaign or a follow-up plan, you need to have created the campaign or the follow-up plan first, right? So make sure that you have the stuff that you want to happen, and then you use the automation to tie it all together. So you're going to find automations under contact settings or by searching automations up here in your top search bar. So we can type in automations and go straight there, but let me show you where it is here under contact settings. It'll go to this page here and you'll find automations right here. Okay, so when you go to create, you want to give it a name. So in this case, we might say, let's see, prospect second stage pipeline. So maybe the second stage of my pipeline, I have a series of things that I want to make sure that I do, because at this stage, they've already maybe had a call with me, right? So after a call with me, I have a checklist where I want to make sure that they have, they've received my pricing, they've received some testimonials, I have X, Y, or Z information from them, stuff like that, right? And so in that case, I will probably have a follow-up plan, right? So here's follow-up plan. And let's just, let's see, I'm just gonna put one here. I know this isn't the one. Let's pretend like you have one here. So this is my second stage pipeline follow-up plan, and that's adding. I want to remove my old one because maybe I didn't have to do everything in the first follow-up plan. So in this follow-up plan, I'm going to remove the first one. Pretend like that's the first one. I want to add a new tag. And so the new tag is prospect second stage pipeline, right? That tag will be added. I want to remove the old tag, which is maybe new lead, right? And then, so I've got my follow-up plan, I've got my tag. And then of course, if there are any messages that I want to send out automatically when they reach this stage, then of course I would want to attach those here. Now, in this particular case, this is really more for my internal organization purposes. I don't need to go to advanced options and send them somewhere because they're not going to click a link to go to this. This is going to be attached to a landing page, perhaps, where they will already be going somewhere else because of another thing they did, but this changes their designations and their organizational info in my system, right? Now, if this were a different follow-up plan where I wanted to, maybe they've just opted into something and they're a new lead, maybe I do want to send them somewhere. Or maybe in the case of, let's say maybe this is register for a workshop, because I want to offer, after they've opted in for a free thing, let me remove this stuff. After they've opted in for a free thing on my website, I want to immediately say, hey, you know, if you're really into this such and such thing, then you should really check this thing out, because that next thing, that video we're going to send them to is going to pitch something, right? And so if they're ready to get that solution, we want to get them into that next warmer stage of the pipeline. So in this case, we're going to say, click here and you'll automatically be registered. So what we're going to do is we're going to add an action here, and that's going to be the campaign. Let me see if I have a workshop. We'll just pretend this is a workshop, you know, email that goes out right away. So, hey, you're in, here's the details, go watch the video. We're going to maybe add a new tag. So in this case, this would be workshop, right? Or whatever tag you're using for the second stage of your pipeline where that's concerned. After they've registered, if I want to add a follow-up plan, and this would be maybe related to folks who have signed up for that thing, and I want to manually go in and see if they're doing their thing, then we could, you know, find whatever follow-up plan that might be, just so you have that set of reminders for you to go and check on that person. And now, because this person is going to be clicking a link on the other side of an opt-in, we want to send them somewhere. So let's send them to a confirmation page, and that's going to be right here. You know, whatever that confirmation page might look like for you. So when we create this automation, you're going to see it's in your list here, and we can actually hit copy right here to grab the keyword. And maybe, I don't know if she has an authority page. She doesn't have an authority page in here, but let's just say, for instance, we're going to go after somebody opts in for a freebie, we're going to send them to a confirmation page, and maybe we're going to change this up a little bit and say, you know, hey, real quick, before you go, would you like to get access to this free workshop? And maybe instead of this goofy GIF over here, you've got, like, you know, a nice little picture of your workshop right here on this button where you'd have your call to action. You're going to go here and you're just going to paste in what you got from the automation right there. So the URL is the automation. And so what'll happen is when somebody goes to this page and they click this button, they're going to go to that confirmation page that you put into that automation. They're going to receive a new campaign. You're going to get a follow-up prompt, and they're going to get a new tag in your system, right? So yeah, that is the sort of ins and outs of automation. So let's go take a look real quick at your question here. Okay, automating individual messages in a class. So this is actually something that I've done, although the way that I like to use it is after an entire online class is complete, I have an automation where they're then sent to book, which is, sort of the next stage in a client's pipeline and working together. But let's go look at that. If you create an online class, let's go to maybe this one right here. And maybe, yeah, after somebody is after somebody has completed a lesson, you want them to receive a specific email, or you want to prompt them to do a specific thing, or give them access to another vault, or whatever it is that you want to do. And a campaign can be a single message, by the way, and you would use a campaign for this purpose. And so you would create a campaign, it would just be one message, and it would be a day 0, so it goes out automatically. So yeah, let's just go take a look real quick at one of these lessons. All right, so this doesn't really have any content in it aside from a video, which doesn't really matter. We scroll down here, you just select the automation here. So if you have an automation, Christine, in your case, where if we say, welcome and expectations, maybe we create a corresponding automation, welcome and expectations complete, and that has a campaign message that goes out, i.e. a campaign that has one email, and you send that out. Maybe you tag them, completed this or whatever, if you want to in your system, you would attach that right here. And so once somebody hits complete on this lesson, they're going to go where that sends them, or they're going to be tagged in your system and so on. So yes, you can do that. And it's pretty easy to do. Okay, is there a way to attach a landing page to a course? So yes, if you create a landing page or a custom page, like if somebody maybe gets it for free, here, just use this as an example. This is a landing page. Maybe you are offering a free thing here. And that might include like a free member area or something like that. If we click the settings button, you can attach the vault right here. So after they opt in, they can get access. You can also attach automations as well, in addition to the vault. And then of course, if you want someone to purchase the actual vault itself, definitely recommend that you check out some of our trainings, in particular about our sales page. Our sales page training, we have a full template for that. But you can actually attach the vaults, like they can purchase the vaults or get free access from there as well. All right, I wanted to scroll up because I know I missed a couple of questions here. How can I have members access my class without purchasing? So that actually what I just showed is one way that you can do that. You can also, if you have your client's contact information, if they're already in your system, you can manually add them to your vaults from their contact card. And I can actually go show you that real quick. So if see, Jane has a bunch of fake contacts in here we can use. So let's just pretend. So you can have a landing page or a page where it grants them access to the vault. If it is a paid vault, then you will see, here, I'll actually show you. So let's pretend Rupert here is going to get access to your vault. So we're going to scroll down here, and here's vaults. We're going to add him to one. And if it is one that costs something, like if there's a price on it, there will be a checkbox here that says add for free, right? So you can add them without them having to pay. So you just hit add vault and now they have access. And then of course, if you want them to be able to add themselves, you can use a landing page, you can use a custom page, or you can use an automation where after they've, maybe they're clicking a link in an email, and that's going to add them, give them access to the vault. You could certainly do that as well. Okay, we've got that one. answer. Okay. Question that is off topic from today's was last week's training and the bundle offered. I can take those and apply them to the funnel challenge course. Forgive me, it's been a long week, Mark. What did we do? I'll give you just a second. Okay. Oh, right. So working with one-on-one clients. And what else did we walk through? I mean, yeah, you can 100%. Actually, with the client funnel challenge, that course is one that let me get back to, let me just get out of screen sharing here. I'm so used to working on a gigantic screen. So the client funnel challenge course is designed for folks who are working with clients one-on-one or in group coaching. And so everything from last week's training would be applicable to that. The client funnel challenge is really like, it's how you build the architecture that brings them in the door and warms them up for the call with you. So everything that follows that is going to attach to that same approach. All right, so let's see. You're welcome, Mark. No, there's no wrong questions for these calls. This really is a time for you to get any questions answered that you have. Awesome. All right. So JA and Associates Logistics, I don't have your name here, but you did ask a question about reviewing your class. If you are still here, if you'd like to maybe add, if you could go back to the Q&A and tell me a little bit more about what kind of help you're looking for, I would love, for us to be able to, bring you out in chat or go look at something in your account if that's the case, or would like a little bit more clarification here so we can help you. All right, Alicia asks, if I were to handle a client's lead generation, would they need their own AttractWell account, or can a vault allow this? For example, if I were being paid to capture leads on an opt-in page and create text and email automations, your client needs their own account unless you are unless they're your only client and you are basically managing everything for them, because you're only going to be emailing from one email address and it's yours or theirs if you're managing their account. It's the one website, it's all of that. So yeah, they would definitely need to have their own, and we do have an affiliate program. Yes, refer them. Refer them, and we'd love to give you credit for it. And of course, if you are referring clients to use AttractWell, you not only can sign up to be an affiliate, if you create resources that your clients can use, you can create once and sell often by creating resource bundles. So you can actually create, if it's funnels, follow-up plans, different, molded pieces of architecture that make a cool little thing that you use for your business or that you use for one client. You can actually make that sort of white labeled, use resource bundles, and give it or sell it away to anybody. All right, how do I experience my course as someone who is in it? Would, if I'm not quite done with it yet, is there a preview option? So the best way to do this is to add yourself as a member of your vault, and then you can log into the member area. So make sure you add yourself as a contact. Let's just go take a look at how we can do that. So if you create a contact for yourself, if we go to my contacts here, there's a create button. So add yourself if you haven't already. Right? Just make sure you've got your name and your email address here and you're good to go, right? And you can hit create contact. And then once you do, you've got yourself, and then you're just going to go add yourself to the vault. And I would recommend that you do this at several stages, right? Add and remove yourself from your vault, because by the time you're ready to actually share this, you want to make sure that the email that you're sending is sending the way that you want it to. If your campaign, when someone enters a vault, has more than just that one message that goes out, you want to make sure that's going in the way that you want it to. So definitely do it that way. But if you go to your contact here and you scroll down, you just go and you add yourself to that vault, whichever one it is, click add. And of course, now you've got access, and you're going to get an email from yourself saying, hey, here, you now have access to this vault. Click here, set up your password, whatever. And you're going to actually get the full experience of what your future students or clients are going to see. Okay, here we go. Does the class I created have a link for me to preview my class? Do I have to publish it or something? Sorry for the newbie questions. No, it's fine. So yeah, just exactly what I just went over here. You want to make sure if you've created an online class that it lives inside of a vault, right? And then you want to add yourself to the vault. And now you can log into your own member area and see what they would see. And you can actually on your own contact card see what you'll be able to see for your contacts in the future as well, because there is this really cool thing that happens, and you can't see it in this particular account because, well, in this case, I haven't seen anything, but you can actually see like a little eye right here if someone's actually opened up that content, if there's video and you have it in, I want to say Vimeo or YouTube, and if it's in a vault, it should be in Vimeo. You can actually see what percentage of the video they've watched, which is super cool. So you can actually start to see and anticipate kind of what it's going to be like once people are in there on multiple fronts, not just what does the class look like when they're sitting in there and going through it, but what does it mean to log in and what does that experience look like? What does it mean to be welcomed in so that I can get my login and access it in the first place? And of course, what does it look like for me as the coach or the creator, the consultant, what have you, the practitioner, as I'm serving them? So how can I go in and look at that person and see what have they done? What have they accessed? What's the activity? You know, what if they actually looked at in here? Do we want to shoot them a message and say, hey, are you good? Because, you know, these are humans and some of us want to just sell courses and numbers are numbers are numbers, and that's fine. That's not most of us here that use the AttractWell platform though, right? So we have all of these amazing things that you can see and do on our contact cards and in sort of how our system integrates. So, you know, if you want to have a little bit more high touch without having to keep all of your thoughts and ideas and organization stuffed in your brain or, you know, spread out on Post-it notes or in 17 different systems, you've got that all right here. So, so yeah, definitely make sure that you add that, create a vault, add the class to the vault, and then add yourself to the vault, your contact to the vault. And you'll be able to see what your clients will see. I hope that helps. And I hope that you'll sign up for a future live session like this, where we can maybe even work together on optimizing all of this so that it works exactly how you want it to. Oh, since when does the chat not pop out of Zoom? This is new to me. It's like in the same line as the participants. All right, what else? What else?
We have a question from Damar here about where can you find the automation resource bundles? I think that would be, is that the resource sharing link in the menu? Do you still have your screen share up?
Let's see. Well, we don't have specific resource bundles that we're sharing today related to automations, but if you create resources that you want to give to clients that might use AttractWell, then you're going to go to resource bundles here and you'll create it, create the bundle that you want to use. You would give it a name, and then of course you would add whatever resources you would like to add to it. Right? So if you want to add a whole vault, if you want to add pages, if you want to add automations, anything that you would want, that would be included that you would give to the client. You can put all of that right there. Or team, if you're a network marketer, boy, this is real duplication right here. It's pretty cool. All right, Alicia, can the landing page web addresses be customized? Instead to use a landing page I already registered. So what I would do in that case, Alicia, is whether it's a landing page or a page in AttractWell, just grab the link and then go into your domain management if you're using like a different URL than the one you have for AttractWell. Then you can actually go into your domain management and forward to that URL. So if it's something.com or what have you, it'll then show up this page that's on your AttractWell site. And we do have a shortcut, like a pretty link shortcut, just real quick. This is an interesting sort of hidden cool feature in our system. It works similar to like pretty links would have on WordPress. You can create a page that redirects to anything. So it could be like yourwebsite.com / whatever you want, right? So in this case, if this is, you know, aliciaswebsite.com/guide, even if that's a landing page where the landing page is aliciaswebsite.com/landing/guide, right? If you want to just be aliciawhatever.com/guide, then what you're going to do is create a page. Doesn't have to be anything on it. And then you just go into the settings. Let me move this stuff around that's covering up my screen. And then we're going to call this guide. Link path is guide. And it doesn't matter what this is, but you need to know this is shortcut to guide URL. And then under advanced, auto forward. And this is where you would do the whatever.com/landing/guide, right? If we wanted to shorten this to your website.com/guide, this is what you would do. And then yeah, it'll just auto forward to whatever that is. And this could be, let's just say, for instance, you want it to be your website.com/group, and maybe you have a Facebook group. Put your Facebook group URL right here. So now it's your website.com/group, and it goes over to Facebook or your YouTube channel or whatever you want to do, right? Good questions today. Okay, that's done. My course will be accessed through a landing page. The clinics I contract with will pull up in Office. They register on the landing page. How do I make sure that this registration automates them into the class and not just put them in as a contact for me? Yeah, so let me just show you real quick. It's all in the settings for your page. So let's just pretend maybe you didn't set it up as a landing page, you set it up as a page, because you do have more design control over your pages. Oh my word, this is like, I can't move things. Hang on a second. Okay, so let's just say that this is a page that you've set up. Maybe it's a landing page. You're offering, this is for Clinic A, okay? And so you're saying, you know, here's a picture of your class. Hey, get my class, put your information in here and you get my class, okay? So if we go to the settings for this page, I'm going to call this Clinic 1 add to class, and this is going to be sign up for my class, because this is what they're going to see. And then this is going to be Clinic 1 class, right? Now under leads, whatever the capture message is here, you know, fill out your info and get access to the class, right? All of their information here, tag Clinic 1. Clinic 1 is going to be a tag, so you know how this person came in. Add to vaults, whatever that class is in, that's your vault. And then I would put a no campaign here if you have a campaign attached to this vault, because you don't want to send 2 campaigns. And then you either send them to a confirmation page, right? Send them to a confirmation page. Now they know they're in, right? If this is something that the clinic just needs to be able to use and recycle, and the end user is never going to see this, then you could actually keep it on this page so that they can then add their next person and add their next person, and they wouldn't have to go and refine the link. But when somebody now registers on this page, they're going to their name and email and or phone or whatever other information you want to have from them is going to be right here. And then because this is the link that you shared with Clinic 1, anybody who gets added to this vault via this page is going to have this Clinic 1 tag. So you'll always know where they came in from, right? So they are now a contact for you, but you know that they're a Clinic 1 contact and they get added to your vault right away. So it doesn't even require an automation, but maybe you want to get a reminder to send a thank you to Clinic 1, you know, about referring you to this contact. So maybe you attach a follow-up plan via an automation here that says, you know, reminder, send thank you email to Clinic 1 about referring me this client, right? Anyway, that's what that would look like. Let's see. Alicia had asked if you can add an opt-in to the redirect. I mean, no, it's truly it's a redirect. That's all it is. So I mean, that would be, we're just sending them to a new place. Wherever that new place is could certainly have a redirect, or could certainly have an opt-in. I mean, in this case, you're wanting to send them to a landing page, right? So if you wanted to just pretty the link, then yeah, just that's literally all that feature does, is pretty the link so that you can send them wherever. What is the best all-in-one training for your platform and where can it be accessed? Oh boy, I wish I could tell you that there was a single one. I really do. It's really going to depend on your business or practice and what your goals are, because we are an all-in-one platform. So it's kind of hard to come up with like an all-in-one training. if we were a unitasker, then it would make a lot of sense for us to have like, here's everything all at once. But you can do everything with us. So we're kind of, it's almost like a physics question. But there is a getting started with AttractWell training on our YouTube channel. Definitely recommend checking out our YouTube channel. Also recommend just shoot a message to support and say, hey, this is where I'm at. And whether the team will either know, oh, hey, you should check this out, or they're going to ping me and be like, what training fits with this? And I'm going to know exactly where that is, right? So it's typically what I recommend with our platform when you're getting started with us is, based on the order of importance of things that you want to get done, we'll have an order of operations, right? Where, okay, really recommend to start with this, right? And then this, and then this, because sometimes it's courses. And we've got loads of course content that can help you get stuff done too. Sometimes it makes sense to start with one of those. Sometimes it makes sense to start with something else. So just as this, right? If you are an existing business, you are serving clients currently, focus on transitioning over so that you're saving money, getting off of whatever platforms you're using. Focus on transferring the functions of your existing business over to us so that you're saving money off the top, right? And so what that's going to look like is importing your contacts. What are your campaigns, the automated, drip messages that you want to send out? Do you have existing course material or a curriculum that you work your clients through? Putting that into a vault, right? And we have a whole course that teaches you how to do that. So focus on the what is in your business first and getting that running on AttractWell, because that's going to make everything feel and function very intuitively for you, because you're not trying to come up with something brand new with a platform that's also brand new to you. That's like two sides of your brain that are just really not supposed to fire at the same time. So yeah, start with something that is already like an easily recognizable logical need and fill that with us, and then build on top of that. Once you have your existing stuff with us, the next thing that I definitely recommend is kind of evaluating, do I want to make use of my current list and promote something to them? Or do I need to go grow my list, right? Because that's going to take you in two separate directions, right? A new offer for your list could mean creating a new thing inside of a vault. Of course, setting yourself up to get more leads and grow is going to be more funnel focused, more front end of your business focused. So I know that's not the direct answer I would love to give you, but if you'll reach out to us and tell us more about where you are in your business, I think we'll be able to help point you in a more specific direction with training. Thank you so much for that question and for all these great questions today. If you guys have any more, please do go ahead and add those to the Q&A. Okay, just starting out list building, love it. Yeah, so the client funnel challenge, and that's attractwell.com/CFC, is going to be a really good place for you to consider starting. But that is also going to kind of depend on whether or not you have an established offer, right? And do you have how you serve people with that offer integrated into anything that's leveraged? Kind of depends. So just shoot us a message and we'll be able to give you some guidance on best next steps. Awesome, you guys. Let me see if there's anything else in here that I'm missing. So glad this is helpful. Yeah, if you guys have any other questions, do remember we have a Facebook community as well. We just passed a milestone in there, so you can come in and celebrate. We've got a great community on Facebook. And of course, we're here every Thursday at 2 o'clock Eastern time with, and Greg just popped the link in the chat there if you guys want to go and join our Facebook group. We'll be happy to have you. But yeah, we're here every Thursday at 2 o'clock Eastern. Always excited to work with you guys, learn more about what you're doing, and help you get it done. And yeah, we'll be back same time next week. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and talk soon.